Dear diarrhea full of shit. Just play along, me, myself, and I. No one else. Yo, I'm so legit. Figured I'd do my audio presentation, because I'm a YouTuber. Um, I finished watching the rest of your. What have you? Oh man, Katie Boo. I've concluded that you must do that for you, not anybody else, because they suck so bad. Well, it's the same way with Fatty McFatfuck. It's not funny though. It doesn't flow. It's really bad. It's just the same shit over and over again. I just scanned through it. Obviously, I mean, what was it, like 40 minutes, an hour? I mean, fuck, you need a hobby. But anyway, um, just sort of watch the beginning, because that's where like most stuff might be, and then usually the end and the middle is just kind of it's just the same shit. I mean, it's all the same shit, but you might say something unique in the beginning and the end. But I don't really. Well, I don't watch the mom with the tits anymore, just because I'm just losing interest. I just don't really have that kind of time, or shit isn't really kind of what it used to be. Fatty McFatfuck never had any interest in her. ASMR wise, just watched her because of you. And man, did I have a nickname for her? If I did, I forgot. The one who just shat out that kid recently. Her tits look fucking amazing, but that's because she's a mom and she's nursing, so it's not legit. Mrs. Potato Mouth or something, maybe, I don't know. I don't remember, because she can eat a potato. She could eat a potato whole sideways, and she still could. She's cute and shit. But, you've been over there to see the baby, huh? That kind of a kick in the ass for you, because all your friends are just a little bit younger than you, and they've got husbands and possibly families, or maybe they're just got a better future. Maybe they're in a long-term relationship, and they just have better luck with relationships than you. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know your deal. I just know, I suspect that you want to get married and you're not. So, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that you want a family. Kids, not fucking another dog. And those are your kids. You want actual kids. And you could do a video where Cindy meets the new Baba. So, anyway. And I'll get this out of the way real quick. Speaking of Potato Mouth, Mrs. Butthead. Shit. I see he learned to smile from you. I mean, what sort of a self-respecting man? I thought he was a Greek god. I mean, I was just talking shit. I was building him up. But what kind of fucking cartoon, dumbass? Well, I guess he's a happy boy. You make him a happy boy, I guess. Shit. Fucking queer. But I thought he was buff and shit. Shit. Damn. Take that back. Looks like he used to have a tattoo. Again, tattoo removed means he, makes bad decisions. Maybe, I don't know. I'd have to zoom in. Well, I did, but I couldn't really read it. But I don't know what the hell that even is. But looks like something written in cursive. Pretty like it does. But what a shitty job. Did he do that himself and it just sort of faded? Damn, what a loser. God, Greek god in my ass. He's a chump. But I'm sure you two are made for each other. And He still leaps and bounds anything I've ever seen you fucking date and fuck. Fed, fucked, and entertained or not. But, I mean, you two are married, so, it's like, whoo. And, I'd say, you couldn't really pass up on that. I don't know. Maybe it's an old fling. I don't know. I have no idea. Not to sound all weird, but you're just still on the list for now. I don't really know why. Klee Bear, she doesn't do social media anymore, but what a stupid shit! What a shitbag! Couldn't tone it down a little bit. You both look like that emoji. You can get away with it. You're a broad. You're allowed to look stupid and silly and shit. He's supposed to have more self-control, and be more self-aware. You ain't. You're all up in your feelings, But he technically, this whole Greek god thing, man, I don't know. That's fading quick. But anyway, speaking of queers, my coworker dude, your boy's going in reverse, Katie Boo, because the whole DIA thing. I don't know if I said this, but they needed me to help out, this week, basically doing what he did and what I did for like the first 3 months. I'm like, okay, fine, But he says, there's a job, like I said, that whole deal looking for, I got a job as long as I want it. I'm going to fill out my, I updated my resume yesterday. I did not fill it out last night, the application. I didn't drop it off today. I'm going to drop it off tomorrow at lunch, because, hey, why not yesterday? Why not tomorrow? But the position might be filled tomorrow. Well, then guess I won't get that position. But, here's the thing. Technically, if that position was filled tomorrow or today or whatever, they're going to sit, on a resume for like a week or two, right? So, well, shit, if they hire him, they could pull one of those deals where they take the job out from under him like they did with me. Like I said, I'm still kind of bitter about that. I kind of am. Because like I said, I wasn't doing that job bad. I was doing it good. And I went to pick up an extra part today. Had to salvage it from a different pump. Because we were running some shit today. But that dude hasn't even spread the fucking material out. I don't know what the hell he's doing over there. And I saw him waiting. He was like waiting for the hopper. And I'm like, dude, that ain't how that works. You fill the hopper and you go do other shit. You do two things over there. Then you go get a small bucket, keep the hopper topped off, then go do the other things. Dude, I'm pretty sure I could work circles around that guy. I mean, I'm sure he's nice and shit. But like, how long has he been running a loader? Fuck, man. That machine needs to be moving. Huh? But you don't want to run it too hard. Damn. Yeah. I mean, it's super cool that my boss is on board and everything, but still, that job was taken away from me right out from under me. And from what I've seen, that chump ain't shit. So, I don't know, man. But, and I'm over here on the ground, I'm still getting paid, what I was, but, it's like, man, this kind of sucks. For all my fans who are listening in, what'd you do today? I don't care. But, anyway, like I said, I want to go drop that off, and it is what it is, man. So, who knows, man? That'd be something if I got hired right away with this other shit. Because, like I said, this job I just stumbled across. It was the second place I applied. was like, hey, that's pretty good and shit, Now I'm like, you know what? I could do a little better, and I'm still kind of, that still kind of rubs me the wrong way, because that was kind of a fun job, for lack of a better word, because it wasn't just scoop, and go get more. I mean, I had to work the dirt, I had to process it, and believe you me, I put that on my resume. The tasks, all that, both of them, and then I, spaced them out, blah blah blah, used all the proper words, so well, not just honest, you know what I mean, but just, it needs to have the proper, like, what's the word I'm looking for? But shit, I don't know. And I just write my own resumes. I don't do that fucking shit at my level. I just type it out. I do it kind of official. Blah blah, the stuff across the top there, and from this date to this date, and then just get tasks. That's what I do, and that's it. And the application is gonna, have the spot for, contact person, maybe contact your employer. Sure can. He said he'd put in a good word for me, so. But anyway. But yeah, today's Tuesday, so let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's 1, 2, 3. Wait, let me say it while counting on my fingers. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's 3 days of, just like old times. And what's his name was there, because I guess they didn't need him out at DIA, because they're probably just getting things set up. And I was kind of asking him, I was like, well, what'd you do? And, I don't want to give too much away, because of the whatever. But yeah, he's out of the closet. I always suspected that he was gay. Remember, dear online family and friends, he said some things that kind of gave it away. Oh yeah, yeah, he's completely out. Like I said, we were always kind of ripping on each other. So I'm not being like too hostile, but I'm giving him shit, about being gay. And, I know he thinks I'm a sexy bitch. If I were any less secure, that would piss me off. Because, and he's cool with it, and, he's still doing the hug thing, and I'm telling him, I'm like, you got to give me space, and this, that, and the other. And if you touch me, I will put you on the ground. And I'm serious about that. And I think he knows it. But, because you don't do that. You respect that. I'm joking around, but I'm also serious. Do not put your arms around me or do anything inappropriate. So, but, I think he does. I think he understands that. And he's a small enough guy, like his build and stuff, where I could kind of manhandle him and let him know I'm serious. If he was like a bigger dude, I'd have to buffalo him, and then that's more hostile. It's hard for me to explain, but if a person is kind of the same size and weight as you, you can kind of, hey, I told you now, don't make me be mean. You need to respect my space, my boundaries, dude. But if it's a kind of a bigger, dude who's, 75 pounds heavier than you and, about, half a head taller than you, you don't get to manhandle that dude. You have to buffalo him. And that's more hostile. So, then it's, hey, let's not do this. But anyway, not to sound like a tough guy or a rough guy. I guess I didn't even need to include that. But, well, I guess I kind of did, in case there's a skeptic or two out there who are like, yeah, right, man. You're 10 foot tall, you're large and in charge, you command respect in any fucking room you walk into. People might not respect you, but they're not going to disrespect you, or whatever fucking faggot fucking shit, my critics and hate whores can come up with. No, don't hit me with your shit. I'm not you, I'm me. You know, male or female. What the fuck do you know about anything? What the fuck do you know about living life? What the fuck do you know about dominance and hierarchies? You don't know shit. You just think you do. I actually need to know shit. Thinking I know shit is a luxury I don't have. So anyway, so I was kind of mildly giving him shit today without laying it on too thick, you know, because I'm not that guy, but he asks for it, he's I'm not even gonna get into it, but it's like, what if you, and he's kind of, what if you accidentally found yourself in this? And I'm like, well, I won't, and he's like, well, what if you did, and well, I won't, and that, man, I forget what he even said, but he's like, how many times can I say something before you tell me to shut up? And I'm like, well, it doesn't matter, one time, but you're going to continue to do it unless you really push your luck and piss me off, in which case you'll be the first to know, and just sort of mildly, like I said, we're still just, buddy, fucking around, but, I think he does understand I'm not gay or bi. And apparently he's bi, right? Because, like I said, I was kind of giving him shit, so you couldn't get a girl, so you just decided to start fucking guys. And just, I don't remember what he said, but it's, I'm bi. Who said I'm giving up on girls? Oh, I see how it is. So you're playing for both teams. Well, it does increase your chances by 50%. Well, I guess in your case, it just increases your chances. You've got a chance now, And blah, blah, blah. And he actually said, again, I don't remember exactly what I said, but man, he said something like it doesn't count, if it's a dude. And I was like, oh, it definitely counts. Yeah, it's called sodomy or something like that, Just, oh man, And he's always fucking around on the walkie-talkie. There was two bees up there, and he was like waving around this pole, And like I said, in some things he's like a child with ADHD. But he does, eventually kind of, calm down. You get the message. You just maintain your. You might have to switch it up a bit, But he does still, understand. Okay, I've pushed my luck. But yeah, some things it just kind of makes you laugh and shake your head, and other things it's like, God damn it, just so. Yep. I guess that's all I gotta say. And like the stuff and whatnot, I'm like, why don't you do it? I'm sitting up here, I'm up here, because I had like this little foldable chair that if I have to take a quick little breather, so I'm not standing. It's like, oh, but my knee, and I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And he's like, what the hell? He's like, oh, I'll help you. And I'm like, oh, I see how it is. You think I'm the sexiest bitch on planet Earth, so not at first you were like, I don't want it, and now you're like, oh, let's do it together, So anyway, just stuff like that, because like I said, I'm not a homophobe. That was the thing. What's his name was standing, and he's all, look how majestic he looks. And I'm like, yeah, he kind of has that Captain Morgan thing going on. And I told him that, and of course he's kind of insecure, right? He thinks I'm kind of using him to. But that's fine. Do your thing. You're not going to fucking hurt my feelings. If you take it too far, I will call you on it. I've called him on it a few times, where it's like, what I just said is not, that's not like a disguised diss, fuck you. And he always, shuts his mouth and behaves. you know, but he kind of does have that shit going on. You know, he's whatever. You know, he's kind of got a little of that, you know, hate whore punk bullshit going on. So, but that's fine. I'm aware of that. You're not gonna hurt my feelings at all. I do actually know how to handle people like you and talk to you know, and respond to your, you know, bullshit. Um, and So I said something. He kind of tried to flip it, you know, like, "Oh, you better watch it. I'll be taking a mental picture." And I said, "Oh, I'll be taking a mental picture and a literal picture." And I said, "I don't know if you're a homophobe or not." And he kind of shakes his head. And it's like, well, either you are or you aren't, but you're not going to say, if you are, you're not going to admit it because, you know that that's like politically not correct. You're not supposed to hate gay people, you know, and stuff like that. But, so, you know, I have no problem, you know, like I said, you know, oh, I see how it is. You think I'm the sexiest bitch in the world, so now you want to, you know, hang out with me over here, what I'm doing. I see how it is. You know, I don't care. But you still have to be careful with that, you know, because you don't want to, you know, well, like I said, when we were painting that fence, God damn. I don't even remember what I said, but I was like, some of the fence, we're painting the fence white, you know, so I'm like, every marshmallow needs a friend. And man, I said something like, you know what I mean? Because I was referencing Bob Ross, and he's like, I know exactly what you mean. And I'm like, yeah, Bob Ross, right? And he's like, who's Bob Ross? So you need to be careful. But that's been established. That is came and went, but anyway. Besides, if it's a dude, it doesn't count. Only it counts. I don't remember what he said, you know, something like, you know, because like I said, the lead in was like, oh, you couldn't get laid, you couldn't find you a nice girl, so you started fucking dudes. You know, so. Shit. Anyway, 22 minutes in. um, yeah, man, future so bright, gotta wear shades.